overalls and alibis, true crime and mysteries with a touch of country charm. Grab a rocking chair and listen closely, 'cause you'll never hear us repeating gossip. So you better listen close the first time. Welcome. Welcome. Oh, me. This is Tuesday, June the 3rd. I worked the last 3 days. I wasn't able to do any videos. I'm so tired. But we need to catch up on what is going on in the true crime world, and let's see if we can find out what is going on. I had a crazy morning this morning. I was awaken up. I don't know how to say that. Woken up this morning around 4 a.m. to the chihuahuas and chihuahuas going crazy in the bathroom, scratching and carrying on. I go in there to investigate, and there's a baby opossum behind the cabinet in the bathroom. Only thing I could figure is it maybe came in the dog door, but then had to make its way all the way from the living room into my bedroom, through my bedroom, and into the bathroom. It's like crazy. But I looked, I don't see any kind of holes in the floor. I mean, there's nothing in there where it could get in. Um, so wow, that was exciting. I had to get a blanket and pick it up. It was a little bitty thing, only about like 6 inches, 7 inches long, not counting the tail. So I got wrapped it in a little blanket and took it out and put it under my storage building so the dogs won't be able to access it, hopefully. So that's why I'm up so early. It's only a little after 6 now, but I'm awake, so let's dive in here and see what has been going on because there's been updates that I have missed while I've been having to work. So I want to jump on here and let's see. I'm going to screen share just there is a case. I don't know if you were following it. It was a teen from Utah, I believe, who she was a runaway. She ran away, lured out by people on the internet. I think they've arrested 3 men. Um, but the biggest news is she's been found. So let's get an update on that. I'm trying to find where is my screen share. Oh, there it is. I mean, okay. So we're going to listen to a clip. This is Grizzly True Crime, which is a wonderful channel. I will link it in the description. So let's listen to her talk a little bit about uh, the updates in this case.
A young female voluntarily made contact with the Colorado Springs, Colorado Police Department and identified herself as Elisa Petrov. Elisa's identity was confirmed. Elisa is in good health and safe with Colorado officials. Elisa's parents have been notified of her location and are working with the South Jordan police to bring her home. Now, while I am so happy that she's safe, that she's in good health, that she's been found, of course, we have questions, right? Like, how did she get to Colorado? What was she trying to get to Vegas for? Let me quickly tell you about that. I will just move this over so that you could see where she was headed and where she ended up, right? So she wanted to go to Las Vegas. Why? Which is also a long way. Is because there was this man who was talking to her online who was grooming her, a predator, and he was telling her, go to Vegas, lay low for 3 weeks, and then I'll meet you there when I'm on a business trip. Who tells a 15-year-old to go to Vegas and lay low? Like, what? Okay, and then he said, together we'll then fly to California, and from there we'll fly to my home in Miami, Florida. That was pretty scary because she started making her way there and she was telling everyone along the way, the boys at the school and witnesses at the train stations, that that's where she was headed, was to Vegas. So I wonder how she ended up in Colorado. I wonder if it'll turn out that she was talking to another guy and that they were in Colorado. I don't know. Because the three men that were arrested, one from Florida, one from Texas, one from Utah, had apparently said that from the day that she was last seen, they did not hear from her. I really wonder about that one in Florida though, because he was at large for like a week, okay? And at large meaning the police, they went to his house, they seized his phone, they shipped that off to South Jordan, Utah. They found horrific content on there, and so they charged him. Now, while he was at large, he hired two attorneys in Utah. That was confusing as hell.
Utah,
Then
not
he
in
self
Florida?
surrendered. Okay. So there were two in jail in Utah and one in Texas City, Texas. And then, apparently, none of these men were talking to her, but I wonder about that one. He was apparently also, while at large, partying it up. He was on yachts and he was drinking and just having a great time. Not a care in the
Huh.
world. He has a girlfriend. You know, he has a mother, he's got family, he's got a job. He's in IT, he's apparently in
Mm.
cybersecurity. So,
Oh no.
wow. But that was really scary that
Cybersecurity.
he had convinced this teenager who he'd been grooming for months to run away and go to Vegas to meet him there. And then there's these other two as well that this teenager was telling things to, so she could have been anywhere. And anyone could have intercepted her. This could have
Oh.
ended up as a horrific abduction case, a trafficking case, all of that, as we have seen. So I'm very glad that she was found. Now the thing is, I feel very protective, of course, because I now worry about the next chapter, even though that is none of my business, right? Her healing. Now, of course, if we get any follow-ups, if there's a press conference, or if her parents say something or whatever it is, maybe we can discuss this case again. But usually at this point, the police also, they'll put out a press release and they won't say much more after that, is what I've usually seen in cases like this, because this is a minor. And in every case where I have covered a minor that was either a runaway or missing or abducted and then they found, well, then I choose to unlist the videos. Now that upsets some people, and I understand, but at the same time, I don't want to contribute to any pain or shame that she might feel, even though nothing I said in my videos would really do that. I just, oh my word, I put myself in her shoes and being like 15 years old and then going on YouTube and being like, whoa, my face is everywhere. And I know that, I don't really make a dent in that because the internet is forever.
I can definitely understand that. Wow. Okay, so we're going to. I'm so thankful that she was found. Well, they say found. She actually, I guess she saw somewhere that they were looking for her because she turned herself in. From my understanding, she actually went to the police station, from what I've read, and actually turned, self-identified. I think, guess you'd say. You're not turning yourself in if you didn't do anything wrong. You're just saying, okay, look, I'm here. You can stop looking. But I do pray for her healing. And I think about all the teens out there who may be desperately needing somebody to talk to. And these predators, I mean, they may be pretending to be the same age, or you never know. They're being that shoulder to cry on, that ear to talk to when you don't, because sometimes in your teens you don't want to talk to your parents. You don't, you just don't feel like they'd understand you, and there's just very few safe places apparently for kids to go when they need to talk. This really is disturbing. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. So, what else is happening in the news? So, let's go to the other story. Of course, the Lilly and Jack Sullivan in Nova Scotia that we were covering. They did have another search on, I think, the 30th. So let's check in here. I may have to adjust the screen and find out the update on that case. Let's see. I need to figure out how I can get the section on the screen. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to move it there. And this is Gavin Fish, which is another great channel. So definitely go give him a listen. Okay, so we're going to follow along here, and he's going to give a little. He has the update on the. I looked for it yesterday and I couldn't find. Well, apparently I was looking in the wrong place. I checked on their Facebook page, and on the crime timelines, it had not been updated yet. So this he's got a June 1st update, which is newer than what I saw. So let's hear what he says. The latest update on the last search they did on, I think it was the 30th, last over the weekend.
Ground search efforts were underway in the area of Gaelic Road, Lansdowne Station, as the missing persons investigation into the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan continues. 78 trained searchers from 9 ground search and rescue organizations, including Colchester County, Pictou County, Halifax, Strait Area, East Hants, Eastern Shore, Muscodoboit, Dobois. I don't know how to say that one. Valley, Pugwash, and Eastern Shore were engaged today in an effort to advance the ongoing investigation and locate Lilly and Jack. Searchers continue to focus on specific areas around Gaelic Road and the nearby pipeline where a boot print was previously located. We've heard that news before. Now a total of 8.5 square kilometers has been grid searched. So they've added another 60% or so. My math is not all that great, but about 60%. They've expanded the search area about 60% and have completely searched it. The search was supported by Nova Scotia Public Safety Field Communications and EHS Emergency Preparedness Special Operations. The Nova Scotia RCMP would like to thank all the search and rescue volunteers who have dedicated more than 10,000 hours of their time searching in very challenging conditions to help find Lilly and Jack and support the missing persons investigation. Any future searches will be determined based on the course of the investigation.
Okay. Wow. So unfortunately, still they didn't find anything during the new search. But I wonder if they were identified the boot print. The thing is, the Nova Scotia, I guess their way they do things is different, and they're not as transparent. They keep a lot more closed-lipped. They don't put out a lot of information, which is frustrating for us because we want to follow. We're concerned, but they're more concerned with the privacy of the people, which I know is important, and sometimes it probably would be better, especially when minor children are involved, would be better here to do that as well. But yeah, it is kind of frustrating when you want to know to keep up. And so I also saw an update. Now, that's like all the technical update. But looking at the family, as far as I understand, the mother has still not spoken out after that first interview. But the stepdad, boyfriend, whatever, he has said he took a lie detector and that it was positive in his favor, I think he said. Excuse me. So let's see. Michelle After Dark has a little bit of information on that. Let's see if we're going to switch over to her, and she has her wonderful dogs on screen um when she broadcasts. So let's see. She's going to talk a little bit about the family here.
In the process of doing more, just no answers. at this moment that we know about, anyway. Now, the family have been speaking out periodically on social media. Now, we know that the children's mother, Malia Brooks Murray, she left on May the 3rd, 24 hours after Lilly.
Let me see if I can get this. Well, I think I'm losing part of the screen here. So let me try there. Okay.
And Jack were reported missing. And we were told originally, this all came from Daniel talking to the media, that Malia had left after her family got in an argument with his mother and she kicked them off the property. And Malia left. Now, Daniel has said a little bit more since then, that she left after leaving the briefing on May the 3rd, going sitting in an ambulance, and then she left. And he hasn't seen her since. And she's blocked him on social media. She's taken all his photos off her social media. She took her Facebook down. She put her Facebook back, but with all his photos gone. And you've got to ask yourself why. Why has she done that? Because she said that she can't live without him. And then she's done this. Blaming him that he's got something to do with it. I don't know. Now, last week, when was this? 6 days ago, I included some posts in a video from someone called Daphne Ann Sullivan. For people who doubt that Daphne Ann Sullivan is a family member, look, I can't definitively prove it. I can't go and give her a DNA test, can I? But she's the sister of Jimmy. Jimmy is the children's granddad, bio granddad.
Okay.
I don't think he knows them, don't think
Great.
he sees
That'd
the
be a
kids.
great aunt.
Right, this Daphne person hasn't seen the kids in ages. They've been saying Malia has kept the kids away from them. Anyhow, we've got Jimmy, who is the dad of Cody, who is Lily and Jack's bio dad. Daphne, being Jimmy's sister, is Cody's aunt, which is Lily and Jack's great aunt. Okay. And she's been saying that they should be interrogating Daniel, and their side of the family's been interrogated, and Daniel should be. Well, he has been. And apparently he's done a polygraph. Look, the wording that he used to the media, some people have come into my comments saying he never said he passed. Well,
Yeah.
the media are saying he passed. I can't prove it. I wasn't there. Okay, we can only go off what is being said. There's that. This is what Daphne said. The kids didn't even go in the woods in the first place, plus they have dogs in the yard. If someone abducted them, the dogs would have made a noise. I say they were taken off the land by someone close to them and by a quad or vehicle, so quad bike. And they are nowhere in them dense woods. So just stop searching because you're not there.
Oh, the thing about the dogs, no one said the dogs didn't bark. Because, I mean, I don't know. If they're really asleep, I don't know, were they hungover? Were they just really tired? Whatever. They didn't want to get up. If you live out in the country, your dogs bark a lot. My dogs bark a lot. They bark at squirrels, they bark at deer, they bark at cows, they bark at everything. And sometimes in the middle of the night or early in the morning. So maybe it was normal for dogs to bark. And if someone had come in, had seen the kids out, if they had, say, been walking, thinking they were going to the bus stop, if someone had seen them walking down the driveway, stopped and picked them up. You think if the dogs ran down the driveway to bark, being farther away from the house, they may not have heard it. I mean, so it is, but we don't know for sure that dogs didn't bark. So I think that possibility should still be there. That is, abduction should be still on the table.
You need to put these two people in interrogation for 2 to 4 hours and see which one's going to crack, because I know that they're nowhere around the area whatsoever. In my heart, I know that. So please do an interrogation. They have done. They've interviewed both Malia and Daniel. Daniel was there for 4 hours at one point. He's been interviewed multiple times by the cops. Tell the mother you're going to take away the baby or take the baby away from her, whatever the case may be. to get her to talk, because something has got to be done before it's too late. Daniel has spoken out about the baby, and he said to the news he went to the CPS office and he's not allowed to see his baby. They share a baby, 16 months old I think she is, and he's not allowed to see her, which is another issue. Now, if the baby had been taken into CPS care, then maybe Malia and Daniel, neither of them were allowed to see her. But that's not the case. That seems not to be the case. Again, I can only go off what is being said. All right? Now, the channel It's a Criming Shame, I think her name's Sunny, been talking to Belinda, who is the children's bio-grandmother. All right, so Cody's mother. She said that Malia used to be a really good mother, and she doesn't know what's happened, and they've not seen the kids for so long. They didn't know what circumstances they were living in. They didn't know anything. So the stuff that the bio side of the family are saying is basically just their opinion. I mean, they might know some things. They know Malia from a year and a half ago, but they don't know the immediate issues in the family because they've not been there. Now, that might be because Malia's not allowed them to be there. I get that. But we don't know, and we don't know what we don't know. Now, Daniel has been speaking to someone who's been appearing on It's a Crime and Shame via, looks like, Facebook Messenger. Now, some of the things he's been saying are intriguing, but concerning at the same time. Like, there's some kind of secret going on. Obviously, there's things that he can't say, and things that he may want to say. Well, what really went down on May the 3rd? It's so unusual for the mother of missing kids to just disappear. Now, we know she's with her mother,
And not
literally
out.
disappeared, but she's just gone and blocked Daniel. I mean, it's just odd. It's really odd. So Daniel says,
Do we know
I
it's
only
really
wish I
him,
could
though?
tell you fine details surrounding Malia and her family and the disappearance. Fine details surrounding Malia and her family and the disappearance. I'll let you know that Malia was set to stay with me and the baby leave with my cousin. So they were getting the baby out so that they could concentrate on searching, presumably? Or was that because CPS were going to take her? CPS may have been going to take her because of the conditions. During this conversation, Daniel said that Malia was suffering from postpartum depression.
That
And
long
since
after?
the baby was born, she's been different, and
Wow.
she's not been as attentive to Lilly and Jack. And depression's horrible. It really is. It's very debilitating. So if that's the issue, and that Daniel's been coping on his own with the kids, then I feel sorry for him. But
That
has
would
that
kind
had
of
some
explain
influence on their disappearance?
having trouble getting
Have
out of
they
bed.
just been used to letting the kids just run wild, and all of the stuff about them never going outside without supervision has been complete nonsense? So that's what Malia said in their one and only interview to the media, that they never go outside alone and they always go outside with them. Well, Daniel said no, he's the one that's been caring for them. Anyway, 5 minutes alone with her mother after the first search briefing, Malia completely changed. She couldn't even look at me. An hour before this, Malia told RCMP she felt happiest and safest with me. He went on to say, Lilly and Jack called me dad and came for me for everything, never Malia. She had no control over the kids. They were wild with her, and with me, listened and were well behaved. I promised myself I'd always be there for Malia and the kids, and I'm holding that promise. So is he saying these things to make himself look good? Or is he being really sincere here? I have no reason not to believe him. However, everything's on the table. Every single thing is still on the table for me. Also went on to say, I'm not being negative towards Malia. I love her. I never lie because that's just not me. I say the truth, even if it hurts. I'm sorry to say that, but I live in reality, and reality is what it is. So, has Daniel been coping alone with 3 kids while Malia's been depressed and just not able to help? Is that why she was in bed? Has she
It would make
been telling
sense.
porcupines to the media, saying that the kids never go out alone, and actually they're maybe running wild all the time? And if Daniel's not there, then they just run wild? Is the reason why she's left because she blames Daniel for not looking after them, even though she was there? That would be really harsh if she was. Or is there more to this? Again, I don't know. Everything is on the table. RCMP seem to be still focused on the woods. Are they considering abduction? Do they want to know the family's movements in the days preceding? Yes, of course they do. Why do they want footage from the 28th onwards? The neighbour from 3 miles away, Melissa Scott, she was asked for trail cam footage of her 7 trail cameras from her 40-acre property from April 27th onwards.
And we still might get something
there's a
from
reason
that
for that.
footage.
There's
That would be
absolutely a reason for that. For RCMP absolutely know that Lily and Jack were alive with the family on May the 1st, but they're looking for footage from April. They want to track people's movements, potential abductors, but also the family. So I think everything's on the table for the RCMP as well. I don't think they know what has happened.
Okay, I'm gonna stop that there. Yeah, everything's on the table, but they have really been pushing that they didn't think it was an abduction. They still, as far as I know, have not put out an Amber Alert. So is that not on the table for them? I think it should be. Oh my gosh, it should be. All right, so we're going to I'm going to stop the screen share. So that is our updates today so far. I do want to check in on the one about the sheriff that shot the judge. I think that was Mississippi. I want to check back in that, but I haven't yet. So I will hopefully find out some more about it for the next time we come on. But right now, I am going to jump off here and get some breakfast. And hopefully, our little possum will be okay. So, all right, guys, I am out of here.